Get mics up.
Do you drink tea?
Yeah. Get mics up.
Tina, can you get someone to get us
green tea and lemon? Yeah.
Can you get someone to bring us 2 teas? One green tea with lemon, one regular Lipton tea.
No,
black,
put the mics up to 0 and then put ours up to, like the individual ones up to 2.5.
Throat thing. Green tea with lemon only, I guess.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, but that's what I've been doing.
Lipton. I don't fucking know.
Okay,
whatever.
so you got us up and you got the mics up, right?
Who cares? You want honey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you should see our lights are green,
Tina.
right? And the mics are, okay, cool. All right, we're ready when you are. You're ready recording, right? Okay, cool. All right, so we got to stop talking because he's going to play the intro, and then he'll cue us when to go on. All right.
Raise it up. Chat Pro.
Welcome everyone to the Hustler Casino Live pregame show. Ryan Feldman, Nick Vertucci, aka Nick Natucci. What's up?
Not much, man.
I don't think anyone's been calling you Natucci lately, or not as much at least. I think people are tired of it.
Yeah, I don't know. They're welcome to. I mean, it's my name now. If you want to lean into it, lean into it. If you want to lean away from it, I really don't care. Which I did that long time ago, but I don't care.
Yeah.
My license plate says Natucci.
I know.
Yeah.
You got to embrace it.
Yeah.
So we're here, pregame show, 1 hour with you. High Stakes Poker Productions co-owners right here. And we're going to do an hour pregame show before we get into today's 25-50-100 that Nick is playing on. And we'll go over the lineup for today. We'll talk about last night's show a little bit. We'll talk about what we have in store for you this Friday, which is pretty cool. And we'll talk about Nick and just, how he's been doing lately.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm gonna, this is your show right now.
No.
I'm here as the guest.
You're the guest. Yeah, you're the star.
Yeah. So whatever you want to know, you ask me, and whatever. I'll be your.
I'm Ernie Johnson. You're Charles Barkley.
You're what's the guy's name that did the show? Johnny Carson. I'm Ed McMahon.
Yeah, that's too old.
I'll just laugh at all your jokes.
Try to keep.
Right.
I'm Conan O'Brien. You're Andy Richter.
See, that's too new for me because I don't know. I know Andy Richter. I could see his face, but I didn't know his name.
All right. So last night you played on the Tuesday Annie game. First of all, before we get into anything else, tell me what you think so far about the new structure. I know it's still new to you. It's new to everyone. I think you and other people had certain feelings about it when we first started. Maybe it's changed a little bit at this point. Maybe it's not. I think it's been like maybe 4 times you've played it now or something like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Okay, here's what I think of it. I think as a business decision, it's good because it does create action. We see the VPIPs. I mean, I was at 30 last night, and I was at the bottom by a mile. Like if you're, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and we're seeing crazy numbers, it creates more hands. Now, let's just talk straight. For me, it creates a problem because I don't like to play just calling and seeing flops, like having 5 ways, 6 ways.
Right.
It's like you're playing bingo, but that's just me, all right? So for me, it creates a problem because I like to play isolation poker, and it's harder to do that in here. It confuses me a little bit, so I'll be honest with you. I've been struggling to try to figure out.
That means I'm accomplishing something.
I know. So I have been confused on to where the ranges, where I should be early, late, where I should be opening, raising. So I'm still a little stumped, and it's been hurting me. I think the other thing that's I'm 5 in a row now losses.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm 5 in a row.
Oh, wow.
Now they were very small.
Oh, okay.
Except for 2. Then I went 20 and 23. So the last 2 were like 45,000.
Yeah.
Before that, I was like 4 or 5 in a row. Okay, and they were like I was having a winning month. But this new structure is confusing me, and so I'm not blaming it on that. And I think one of the other things is, too, like a golf game, like there's certain levels you can go to while you're studying poker, and then you have to try new things to try to go to the next level, the next layer.
Right.
But sometimes when you're trying those things, if you watched me last night, I fucked up a lot of different hands. Like I didn't have any spots, and I was card dead. But some of the things I've been trying haven't been working, and I've been a little uneasy. It's like, you know, I'm trying, like, this game, part of my game's solid, now I'm working on this, and as I'm doing that, this is suffering, and so I'm in a little bit of a funk. But you like that.
No, I don't like that you're in a funk. I like that
I'm not crushing.
I like that the best players in the game have to adjust and are confused.
Yeah.
And I like, so for me as a game planner, and there's a few different aspects of like what I try to do when I'm trying to organize these games, right? And one of them is that I want to try to even the playing field. I want to give the worst players in the game, in any game, a good chance to win.
Yeah.
I want them to feel like I have a chance.
This game creates that.
Yeah, and that's the like, I think the main goal in this is that I want everyone to feel like they have a chance to win, and that I want the best players to make mistakes, right? Like that's cool.
I understand.
Because, you know, in a way, Tita, you can just come on.
Yeah, you can come over here.
It's okay.
This is one of those.
Everyone knows you.
This is one of those things nobody cares. Like, just bring it.
Tita's
Hand it
bringing
to
us tea because we're both coughing lately.
Yeah.
The weather.
Got a little hot tea here. Which one's the green one? That one? All right.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Tita.
So, you know, in a way, some kinds of no limit hold'em are not solved, but getting there, right? And so, like, you can study a system and you can beat the game, and now there's going to be weird things that happen in our games that you have to adjust to, but you know, the Tuesday game might be a little bit harder to navigate in general, where like the Wednesday game might be a little bit easier for someone like you because most of the players kind of know what they're doing and play a certain way. But if we change the system on the Tuesday game where it's a new structure, now those players can't really do that, and so they have to kind of adjust. You know, how do I do it? Do I still play tight? Do I have to play looser? Do I be more aggressive? What do I do in this position? And it's not something that you study for, like, because it's not a normal two-blind structure.
Yeah, if I'm being really honest, and I mean this really respectfully, I do better in games where players are a little better. Yeah. Because I understand where I'm at.
You might not win as much.
No, but I understand where I'm at, and I feel more comfortable because when I'm in games where everyone's in the pot, it's 6-7 ways, it's really tough.
Yeah,
like,
you have
I don't
to play
know
different.
I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, and so that game creates that. Now let's talk about something else too. Over the past year, there's been attrition. What I mean is there's been people that have come and gone, right? Bankrolls, timing, people move away, whatever. And so I would say in the last couple of months or maybe few months, the games have gotten harder. Yeah. There's better players in the game here. Like tonight, this is a tough game.
It is.
Right? So the lineup's pretty tough. You know, there's variance, and that's the other thing. Like, I've gotten a lot better at embracing variance. I was horrible at it. That was one of the things the chat used to hammer me. You used to say, you can't be pissed off. You got to lose sometimes.
Yeah. Even last night, you were kind of I could tell you were in like a bad mood for a minute.
I was in a bad mood, but I'm going to tell you why I was in a bad mood. If you've watched the other shows where I was losing, if I lose and I play okay, I'm good now. I've gotten my head around variance. I know you can lose. You can lose in poker 10 times in a row and be a good player, right? And so, like, I got it. But last night, I did something, like, I was trying something with the 8-7 suited. I 4-bet against Mars, who was in position on me. It cost me a lot of money. I pressed some hands against Eli. I was trying some different things that I wanted to try out, but I didn't try them out right, and I didn't do them in the right spots. And that's a part of when you're trying to do some different things, you make more mistakes.
So you were upset at yourself?
I was upset at myself. I wasn't upset at the loss. Literally, if I play really good and lose 20,000, and I'm talking A+ game, I'm in a better mood than if I play really bad and win 20,000. I promise you, I mean that.
No, that makes sense because I have noticed a lot of times the last few months where you've been getting crushed and you've been in a fine mood where you're just joking and making fun of yourself.
And I don't mean this in a cocky way, but it's because I was playing good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, that I could see that. I thought it was either that or something else going on or whatever.
No, last night I was really upset with myself, and you could tell my demeanor, like I folded one hand like this. I was pissed when Jeremy bluffed me on the end with 9-10, and I had pocket 10s. The ace came on the river.
Yeah, that was just a good play by him.
It was just a good play.
I don't think there's anything you can do there. I mean, if you make that call on the river, like, that's incredible. I mean, you didn't even think about it.
No, I didn't even think about it, which is another mistake because I should take my time. But I wasn't frustrated with that hand. He just played well in that hand. I was frustrated already, and that was kind of the accumulation of just frustration.
Well, when you're having a rough night and things aren't going well and you're not making good decisions, it's hard. I think it's harder to make a outside the box decision where if you're playing well, you kind of can because you trust your judgment. And so even if you thought about that hand against Jeremy and you somehow were like, maybe this is a call, then you're just you're not going to be as confident, where if you were playing good and you're making good bluffs and making good calls and you're up 30K, then you might trust your judgment.
That's right. It's a confidence thing, and it's a game flow thing, and I'm saying what you just said, but differently. It's redundant. But people that don't play poker a lot, if you're just watching poker but not playing actively and grinding, you go into different stages. When you're experiencing variance, you have to be mentally tough to play your A game. It's not easy. And the second you fall out of the zone and you start losing a little confidence, is to your point. You lose that confidence, you're not in a zone, and those things become blurry. Through your lens, they become blurry. When you're in your A game and you're focused, it's unbelievable the clarity you have in hands, even like the one in Jeremy. Like, it might have been possible that I could have thought that out and made the call. I probably still would have folded, if I'm being really honest. It was a tough spot. I had to fold there. But to your point, you just can't make good decisions, and people don't understand that really good players. I talk about this with Billy a lot too. He's not my coach, but he's been someone that I like to talk about because he's a very good player. He's very knowledgeable.
If he was your coach, you'd probably play a lot more hands.
If he was my coach, I'd be at 60% VPIP. He plays a different style, but he's very knowledgeable, and sometimes, I even talk to him, and he'll be the first to tell you, you're either in a zone or you're not. And when you're not, you struggle, and you're flipping a coin sometimes. When you're in a zone, you kind of almost sometimes know.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, so to go back to your point about the games getting tougher, I think it's definitely true. I mean, it's not easy for us to plan 5 games a week, right? You know that. And so we're trying to put together 8 or 9-handed games 5 days a week. Now, it helps that Billy does the Monday games, so that takes that off my plate. So he plans a really quality game every Monday.
Yeah.
So now I only have to do 4 days, right? Friday games are a little bit different because some of the players are in their own player pool there. But the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games are all similar player pool, right? Similar size. Some of the Wednesday guys play bigger, but so we're trying to put together 3 or 4 days of games with all of this player pool. And, we had some sick players early on our first few months of the show, right? Because before we came on the air, this is what I think, before we came on the air in August, right? We didn't really have these big games. So, some people played home games.
Yeah.
We had some rehearsal games and some games up, but it wasn't 5 days a week, right? And so now we have a Tuesday ante game, we have a 25-50, and the games are a little bigger, and we're doing it many times a week, so we have many opportunities for these guys to play. The Friday game, there was not real, most of these guys didn't play a 5100 or 100, 200 very often before our show came on the air, right? It was a rare thing for these guys during the pandemic. So now we have Reza and George and Krish, and Krish was playing some big games during the pandemic, but some other guys like that, and now they're playing every week, right? And so what happens? Well, eventually, some of those action guys are going to are going to lose some money, right? And so and they're going to lose confidence, and and not everyone wants to be seen losing big on camera for a long time, right? And so things happen, and then you use that word attrition. It could be anything. It could be you're right. People just stop playing poker. They just want to focus on work, whatever it is.
Here's the bitch to it. The problem, and you and I have talked about this maybe 10 million times, is both things fight against each other. To run a poker show, a stream, the bigger you can play and the bigger the pots you have and the more money on the table, the more exciting it is, and it's better for the viewers and it's better for the show.
Right.
With that said, if you remember, and again, this doesn't mean it makes it right or I was right, it just means that there's two things fighting against each other, is when we go back to that time that you spoke of, and I could specifically, and I'll just name them, I specifically remember an incident with George.
Yeah.
And George was playing, I don't know if it was Thursday, Fridays, whatever, but he was playing in the biggest games. And he was a very action player, very loose, and he started to get crushed. But George didn't want the game to getting. That's why this fight against like how do we protect the game, but how do we put the biggest games out, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so like which one's more plus EV for us, for the fans, and for the players, because we got to take care of them. And I kept saying, and I'll say this even if he's watching, I kept saying to Garrett and all these people that keep pushing straddles.
I'm sure Garrett's watching the pregame show.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not, but I just want to always be respectful to people because he was one of the ones that I fought against the most. It's like, hey, look. If we keep doing this, I'm telling you, this guy has often said off stream, they don't want to be embarrassed and say it on stream, but please don't push it because eventually the attrition is going to come. It's going to be too much. They don't want to be embarrassed. And then we lose really good action players. Now, that may happen anyways over time because of their play or different things in life, but this is the struggle with you and I have had as owners and promoters, and we're both trying to do the same thing. And I think we flip-flop because I know bigger games are better and you know it is, but at the same time you know that like in a Tuesday game, like Jeremy, God bless his big heart, he gets stuck and he wants to pump it up to 800 straddles, and Nick Airball will jump into Tuesday and he'd put $5 million on the table and be betting 8,000 every hand. And I got really upset, not because of their action players, because I don't want to play big, which I don't want to play 800, 16, 30, 200, but I also don't want Big John and Ronnie and some of these other guys that have 10, 15, 20,000 on their table being, having only a handful of blinds in a game. They fucking don't like it.
Well, that's kind of...
So that's why I monitor it, and people mistakenly take that as I'm trying to slow the action. I'm not. I'm trying to protect the players that don't. That's why I tell, like, Jeremy or Nick, go play Friday. Go fucking play Friday, and I want Jeremy to play Tuesday. I love him. He's one of my best friends. It's like when Jeremy was
saying last night, he was like, it'd be a good game if we double the size of this game.
I know, he said it last night.
I'm like, it's the same game.
I didn't say anything.
You just double the size.
Because I don't want to fight about it anymore.
It's the same exact game. There's no difference. It's the same structure.
You can't do that to these guys.
I'm not going to tell, like, these guys want to bring 20K. This game is already a little bigger now than it was before.
20K is not enough for the regular Tuesday game.
Yeah, so now we made it a 10K min so that it's not a shove fest. And
10K min?
For Tuesday. Because these guys were, it was just like they're grinding like 3K sometimes. Now, if they want to rebuy less.
Oh, I see what you mean. 10K min. I don't know why I had cap in my head. I'm like, what are you talking about?
So if they want to rebuy in between, whatever, it's fine. It's all good. But for the beginning, we're asking everyone to buy in 10K. And I asked if anybody had a problem with it. Everyone was cool with it.
Yeah.
Just because the game's a little bit bigger than the 5.5/100 now. But what we did to kind of protect that is we made a structure where we don't want any straddles. And so I asked everyone, don't straddle. And there's no reason to straddle. Like, it's 25, 25, 25, 50 every hand. Now, if somebody wants to blind raise in the small blind, sure. You're not getting an option. It's not as good as doing a regular straddle. You're not as incentivized. But if you guys want to do a round of it, sure, that's fine. But that's the only way for our graphics that it works.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion, though, for the 20th time?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Because this is your lane, your production, your lineups. And I always tell people on my podcast, you stay in your lane, I stay in my lane. Yeah. We talk about things, we get them approved with each other, and then we do our thing, right? But what I would make a suggestion is when you say that it's going to be 25, 51, and what you just explained to protect the game and not make it go to that, what has to happen is I can't be in the game and police it because I'm a player when I'm playing, and I don't want that bad energy with players. And what you have to understand is you'll have 7 players out of the 9 or 6 out of the 9 that will be okay with it. You might have 1 or 2 or not, but I don't care what anyone says, they will not say it. They will agree to it, and then they will complain later and be upset. So what production has to do, it can't be Nick, and the dealers have to have your support. You have to say in their ear, no. Production says no. It can't be 8 people agree and you just let it go because there's people in there that are getting hurt.
Yeah, so the tough thing is with poker these days and how it works is that you can do that and say, no, there's no rounds of straddles, but if one person individually wants to put their own straddle on, you can't stop them.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
So the problem is that when one person does it, then someone else is like, oh, I'll do it too.
Yeah.
And
then they go, oh, how about a round? And you know what sucks about one person always straddling? The person to the left is always first. So there has to be some rule of that too. So let's say we make up a guy's name, Mike, and Mike wants to put on the 400 straddle every hand. Let's just say he's a lunatic. Well, if Joe is sitting to his left, he's first every hand. He's at a disadvantage. And we have players that will continually straddle that if you get a bad seat choice, you're actually great if you're to the person's right because you're the button.
So I disagree with you on that a bit just because that's just part of the game. That's just a lucky draw of what seat you're going to get. And I think it's bad to discourage somebody to put dead money into the game. Like
maybe have like a thing where
if the game
you can
doubles
do it
in size
so many times around.
I don't know, man. I think the people that are straddling on their own without like anyone asking them to or without doing a round are usually the most action people in the game who are coming to have fun. And so to me, like, yeah, if you have like a Garrett in the game or a Nick Airball or something, like someone who's clearly really good who wants to do that, then sure, you know, we could talk to him and be like, hey man, that's a bad idea. But if like Kennedy or Charles or Big John or Santa or whatever want to put on a straddle every hand, like I don't think it's wise to tell them not to, because these guys are here gambling and having fun, and
I agree with that.
They know that they're.
I agree with that.
The way that what they're doing is minus EV, but they're doing it anyway, and so
Yeah.
I think that you just have to, like, even if it's
agree.
uncomfortable, you got to suck it up and just like live with the dead money in the pot. And yeah, the game's gonna be bigger when that guy does it, but it's dead money, and you just have to adjust your strategy for that. So if you're under the hand,
I actually agree with you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but it is a fine line.
I remember one time you, who was it? A long time ago when you were, was it Rez? No, somebody you were like under the gun every hand, and then like the next time you played with that person, you were like, they were like, I don't want to be under the gun. I don't want to be on that person's left again. It might have been Reza. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But it was just somebody that always straddled a lot, and you played a whole show under the gun, and you were just like, this is brutal.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already struggling to play enough hands, and people are giving me shit. My
Yeah, if you're
range
under the
goes
gun every
down
hand.
to nothing when I'm first every hand. I'm in the small blind.
But yeah, I just think it's unlucky, and you have to like adjust your strategy, because somebody's gonna get really lucky and be on that person's right.
Yeah.
And be in the cutoff every hand. So
No,
you know,
I get it, but it
and-
would be nice if production does protect the game and the dealers protected it, and it doesn't go to the players taking a vote.
Yeah. So
You need to do that.
So I'll always do what I can. Sometimes during a show upstairs, it's tough if you don't anticipate something and then something happens in the
What
middle.
about if you tell the dealers this is the way it is and they just enforce it?
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
done.
Yeah, so we can always say no rounds of straddles. There's nothing wrong with that. I can always do that. I'm just saying that if one person does something and another person follows suit, I can't do anything about that. Alec, you can come up.
No, you can't. I get that. I'm just suggesting that, like in the Tuesday game, it was a nice compromise to say a couple of orbits you could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a nice
so that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
And you know, but it's tough
Because we gotta care about every player.
Every lineup's different. So those lineups absolutely come up. On a Friday game,
What's up, buddy?
on a Friday game, like most of those guys anticipate and are okay with it. Now, what I do is what I've been doing sometimes is if I know that there's a couple guys that don't like it but won't say anything, what I'll do is I will text or talk to the people before the show who would be the ones I think would push it the most.
It doesn't work.
Well, it works to a degree, but here's the thing of why it sometimes doesn't work is because those guys sometimes that ask for it not to happen end up doing it themselves anyway. It's a weird thing where a lot of these guys say they don't want it, but then they get in the game and they just do it. Like, I won't say who, but there's a person in like one of the Friday shows recently who said like, I don't want to play bigger than 1-2-4, right? And then that week, I made sure that the game wasn't bigger than 1-2-4, but then that week, that guy goes, hey, put the 8, put the 16, I'll do the 32. Like, you just told me you don't want to play bigger than 1-2-4.
Well, if you remember the All-Star game, the year anniversary, we had 2 or 3 players that said they don't want to play like with Garrett and this guy and that guy and play big.
Yeah,
they just wanted to play what it
so
was.
I have to do a better job of just meshing up players together who are comfortable with the similar structure. And so it's more my job just to like try to get lineups together as often as possible where we have somebody who's down to play as big as possible. We have like 9 of those instead of like 6 guys like that and 3 that are the opposite.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's more about that, but it's tough when we don't have an unlimited player pool.
Well, to your point, I wanted to finish that thought. On that Wednesday game, we had told Garrett, we had told Andy, we had told all these people, everyone had it. But here's the thing, and I'll just say the name. Shashimi and Ron said, like, we don't want it to be playing with those big dogs, big. And then the game starts, and Garrett's pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing. And then to be one of the boys, you know, there was a time where I'm fighting it and actually get in an argument with Garrett at the table because I'm trying to protect these people. And then all of a sudden, Shashimi, I was pissed, takes it and goes, straddle, let's all do straddle, and did it and fist bumped Garrett while I'm in an argument.
It's so annoying, right?
And so when I went to the lockers, she came back. I don't care if she listens or not. I love her.
Yeah.
She came back and was like, "Oh, it's playing too big." I said, "No. you're fist bumping and doing that shit. I'm actually having a bad time now trying to protect you and Ron and other players. So I'm out. Go fist bump all you want. The straddles are on.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't care. Like Gerry used to get upset with me because like, do you care about the straddles? Yes. If I'm in the Friday game, I don't want to play 3,200. But when I'm in a 5,100 game, whatever, I don't care about a $200 straddle. I care about our players.
Yeah. So every game, I think people should be able to anticipate a 2x straddle these days, but anything bigger is uncomfortable for a lot of people, for sure.
You know, one thing I do want to touch on, if it's okay with you, is I want to touch on what we.
Al, you can come
and sit right here, buddy. This is your seat. Yeah. No. These are like not highly produced. We're just like winging.
Where's your mic at?
We're winging shit.
Oh, you have a clip? No, I'm saying clip.
It's clipped.
Oh, it is.
It's on.
Okay. His should be on. Yeah. He's on 9.
He just wanted to lean into you like that.
Put 9
Yeah,
on.
he just wanted to get close. I know.
So,
what's up, everybody?
what's going on?
Where am I looking?
This one.
That one. Hi,
the middle
everybody.
one.
Hello.
All right. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
How much?
Let me see your pack. Let me see your battery pack.
Hey, see your package. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
He's going for it. You were right.
It says
I
it's
told
on.
you.
You have 9, right?
I don't know.
It says it's on.
It's green.
Yeah, I know. He's just. I can take the batteries out if you want.
What's going on, man?
Oh, same old shit, brother.
Yeah. Ready for today. No
Yes.
seat change.
No, sorry. Won't
seat
happen.
change.
Still not on?
Bad luck.
All right.
Didn't work out for me
you'll have
either.
to leave it on camera.
You got wrecked too?
Bring a different number. Yeah.
No, you
Here,
bought
take
a small.
I had a
that
small
off. We're gonna bring you a new
I had a
mic.
small loss that day.
Here, me and Nick will finish this conversation, and then he's gonna bring you a new
go
mic.
ahead.
What I was gonna say, Ryan, is I wanted to touch on the chat thing very nicely and very nothing aggressive, but I want to touch on the chat thing with some of the players and the female players. Do you mind if I do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So if you guys are listening out there, pass this on and maybe take note of it. This is related, but it's not related. A lot of you have been hitting us up. Jamie LaFay played on Monday, and she was having some issues with health and some things, and she's not in a good place. Now, you've heard me talk about very often that even on my podcast, that I don't understand how and why people are aggressive and mean with players in the chat, especially female players. And so that night she played, she had a rough night, poker. She was having a rough time in her personal life and has some serious issues right now, and we've all been we finally located her, and she's in a really bad place mentally. Now, I'm not suggesting that the chat created that. I'm suggesting that it didn't help because she's already had some problems that she's trying to fix. What I'm saying is this, and then I think there's some other females on Monday that have stopped playing because of the negative attention that they're getting and the negative feedback they're getting, whether it's looks, whether it's how they play, whether it's whatever. And especially if someone's a new player, it's harder for them on a Monday to accept everyone bashing them because they're not playing optimally and they're making bad decisions. So I would just suggest to you that if you want to see the women play, you want to see everyone happy, that you probably need to grow up a little bit when it comes to being mean. Funny trolls, having fun is good. You guys are chat pros. You're the lifeline of our business. But truly, it's hurting people. And so I just will tell you that we are going to extra monitor the chat. I have suggested putting something up every 30 minutes to remind you about what our guidelines are. Now, that doesn't mean we're not free speech. It doesn't mean for all the people that you guys out there that want to throw some shade at it. It doesn't mean that we just want to like neuter you and monitor you. No, we want to make sure that the people playing at this table are protected and that the people in our family are protected, even including other chat members. So use your discretion. You will probably be warned, and you will be warned again with a timeout. If you are a repeat offender and you continually cross the line, especially hurting people deep, you will be taken out of the chat. I don't care if you're a chat pro. It doesn't matter who you are.
That's why.
Because
you're on the
at
wrong
the end
layer.
of the day, what's most important is the people.
IFP.
You included. You're important as our fans that are watching and supporting this show, and we want to
What number is
great time, and we want you to have fun and make fun of people. But figure out where that line is, and if you get put in a timeout for it or the message gets deleted, take that as a hint that it wasn't proper, okay? And let's support the people that play on our show. I'm not going to name the other names, but there's some pretty cool people that haven't been playing recently that are female because they don't want the scrutiny. And one of them is gorgeous and just is learning poker and maybe doesn't want to be made fun of. And then some maybe feel a little insecure about some things and they don't want to come on here and be picked apart. So just be nice.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to being kind, right?
Just be
like
kind.
that's the line that you
Yeah.
can never cross. As long as you're kind to people, like, you know, jokes are fine. Everyone can
Yeah,
take a joke.
totally.
But just being an asshole is never.
Because being an asshole,
is
and
never
being,
right.
being cruel is not okay.
Yeah, it's never okay.
I'm judged because I have a polarizing personality and I come across as a dick or they say douchebag.
You have strong opinions, but you're kind. You're
but
never
I'm,
unkind
but
to
I'm
people.
kind.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to be kind to people. And if
Right.
I troll anyone at the table, it's because they are my close friend and we have an understanding. That's why I relentlessly fuck with Ludacris, because we have an understanding that we do that to each other until the point where we see one of us is in, like, when I see he's north of like 150 in an ante-game losing and he's in pain,
Right.
I stop. And if he asks me to stop, I stop. Or if I see he's not in a good mood that day, I stop. So those things are they're not staged, but they're agreed to, and we make fun of each other here because we're friends. But it's different
we all have a lot
when
of history.
you're cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also different when you have no context or history and you're just
Right.
you're trying to bring someone
I mean,
down.
don't make
That's,
fun of people's appearance. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
that's
like,
never
you don't
appropriate,
know
right?
what that person is struggling with. You don't
Yeah.
know how they feel about themselves. And what if there's some mental health issues, or they're on the bubble
Or what-
of like going on a long walk off a short pier?
Or, like,
we don't
what
want to
if
give them
they're-
the push.
Yeah, what if they're like, you know, dad or mom always made fun of them as a
Who
kid
knows,
and that
right?
stuck
I
with
don't-
them
yeah,
and
it's
like,
like,
it's a serious pain
let's build
point for this
people up,
person. Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah, it's really
Yeah. So anyways, that's my soapbox rant. I hope that landed well with y'all.
important message. I dig it.
Yeah. What else? This is you're the podcast
Oh, no.
host.
Yeah, we had
Next
a
questions.
audio thing, so the people are going to hear me talking in the control room.
Oh,
because we
whatever.
had
This
some,
isn't highly produced.
Trying to fix the mics, but
I like the raw nature of this
good now.
show.
Yeah.
It's very like
Yeah.
off the cusp.
Yeah, it's the
and-
only place we can put something on the table, or you know, have a drink.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
what is this, kombucha?
Like, it's
when is the new
kombucha,
table
yeah.
coming, Ryan?
Clint was just here today. Clint's our production coordinator, so he was just here today measuring out the table, trying to get that rolling. So
Why do you need a new table?
we just had this one
You wanted one
forever.
because you're a baby.
We had this one
Likes to
forever.
spend money and I don't.
We,
Yeah.
we want a nicer table, a bigger one. The main reason
Bigger
is-
one would be
I can't even see right now when they turn their hand over. I always have
That's
to say,
a
what
you
is it?
problem.
I know.
Yeah, what is
That
it?
is personal.
So the main reason is because we have a lot of, because this is like a tight together table, we have a lot of, and where the cameras are and stuff, so we want to be able to see every seat with a clean angle where we don't see the back of the dealer's head.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How many cameras are we adding?
We're adding 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And we're also getting a new table. So
And the table is not going to be like this. It's going to be kind of, explain the shape. What it's
yeah,
gonna look
so
like.
the dealer's going to be back further, and
So like it protrudes out a little bit so that the dealer's like behind the seat 9
It's
and
almost
1.
like it
think
curves
so.
in a little bit.
yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly the shape, but this is going to be back. These seats are going to be like back further. This might be like squared, I think, and then the dealer's going to be back a bit. And so there'll be more space. It'll be harder for the dealers to reach, and we'll have to ask players to put their
Can
chips
we
in
get
there.
new cards that are bigger, like 8 by 10?
Lauren was already asking me that too, like, because when I was on this seat and I would
Yeah,
bet
it's really
here,
hard for her.
it's like really hard to get all the way across.
Oh, Christian's
Come on
here.
in, buddy.
This is
Yeah,
our
what's up, man?
commentator tonight, Christian.
For those of you
Oh,
who
now I need
probably
another
already
mic,
know,
'cause I
this is
already gave you
Christian
the other
Soto.
one. Okay.
He is a killer poker
man,
player.
what's going on?
What's up,
he's
man?
part of the crew over at Only Friends, does a podcast, and he's going to be working with us a little bit.
Pregame show?
Yeah, it's a pregame show.
We're gonna get a mic for you.
Here, we'll get you a mic and
Have
and
Tita-
Am I still in the shot? Hey, Ryan, scoot over a little bit.
Go get the mic from Neve for us. Get the microphone.
I guess
from
we
Neve
could
first.
all fit in the same shot, right?
Yeah. He'll figure it
I
out.
scoot over and then you come over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pregame. We do a postgame now too.
Well, we don't do a post game yet, but we will
Well,
eventually.
we're gonna.
Yeah, we will.
So I'm just leaning into it.
Maybe halftime show too.
Well, let's do a halftime show. We'll get dancers.
Oh my God.
We'll
a
get Big
halftime
John
show.
and Mayhem to dance.
Yeah.
If people are on tilt, that'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Imagine if we had a halftime. We're gonna everyone goes.
We'll
to
start getting
eat
like
and
big
then-
names. We'll get Rihanna over here.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
do it. Let's do
That's
it.
your job.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll get her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know her.
You book talent.
Yeah. No, I don't know her. I don't know anyone.
You could.
All right, so what
Where
do
are
you
the
got?
cameras
Yes.
going?
Christian, we're gonna get your mic. Hold on. Let's wait
Yeah,
till
you
you
need
get
a
the mic.
mic, buddy.
So.
You can pick
what's
up
that?
on mine.
I can yell.
Here. You know how to do this? Yeah. Okay. Just put it up your shirt and then it's up.
Make
Alex,
sure it's on too, by the way. There, yeah, okay. It's on.
Nick, move a little more this way. closer to us.
Oh,
Everyone get tighter.
I'm gonna win. I've decided.
Today? So you are 0-2 on Hustler Casino Live.
0-2. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah. How do you think you played last week?
Good.
Yeah?
I'm really happy with last week. One hand I had questions about. I put it on my vlog just about.
Is that the set one or?
No, not even as much. Just mainly just bluffing with the
Queen 10 offsuit?
the 6-9. No, the Queen 10 was pretty standard, I think. I mean, he raised me, but
That was pretty wild raise in the room.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did everything right. I think he also did. So, you know, someone's got to win the pot. That didn't go my way. But, like, I'm betting into an underpair with 5 overcards. Like, it's the right bet. I mean, I made the right bet. I just didn't win the pot. Like, that's a lot of pokers like that, you know?
Before you got here,
And the variance is big.
we were talking about variance. Ryan and I were talking about winning and losing, and I told Ryan the same thing. I said, you know, mean it. I would if I feel I play really good and I lose 20,000, I can now accept variance and not be tilted. But if I play really bad and win 20,000, I'm tilted.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I just can't take it. And I've been playing really bad the last couple sessions, in my opinion, because I was saying I'm trying new things. I'm trying to, like, as you're training and coaching, you have to, it's like a golf game, I was saying. You have to, like, implement new things, try things, and then you fuck them up because they're not coming natural to you. And it can one or two hands, as you know, dictates your whole 5 hours.
Yeah, you throw the 4-bet in there with
Yeah,
the
with
ace,
the
10, ace 10 of clubs.
Yeah, I did it with 8-7 of spades, dude, didn't I? Yeah, what am I thinking? What am I doing? And nothing worked out for me. But I would have been a genius
There's
if
also
it did,
some
right?
timing there, too. Like, if
Yeah.
you run into ace-king, it doesn't
Yeah.
work. And if
Yeah.
you run into...
It doesn't mean
Bad
it's wrong.
timing.
It's just unlucky.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variance. I was doing a class today, like a poker master class, and I was talking, one of the subjects was bankroll management and variance. And like, if you look at a variance calculator and like
It's nuts.
how many buy-ins you can swing given the same player playing in 2 different games, like
Yeah.
his worst case outcome and his best case outcome over like even like a month or 3 month sample, you can have like 1,000 big blind downswing or 1,000 big blind
Yeah.
upswing, and it's like the same player playing the same hands. And that's just the cards
It's just
that come.
variance. Yeah, I was talking to the guy I work with last night and today about it, and we were talking about just that.
Yeah.
And you have to really be able to accept it, or else you'll fucking kill yourself. You know?
No, because like you can turn a 5 big blind winner, and like you're just running bad, and now you're like trying to change things when it's like you shouldn't have changed anything. You were just running bad, but now you change your strategy. Now you may be like losing, or maybe like winning at a lower win rate, etc.
Well, prepare your trolls for today, because I'm going back to turtle poker today. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So you're commentating. Hit me with it. I'm going back to turtle poker.
I'm just gonna call you out on being a turtle.
So let's talk about today's lineup a bit. We'll get the promo graphic up there. To
Tough
show the
lineup today.
And talk a bit about it. So Christian's going to be commentating his first commentary gig here at
I'm a
Hustler
little
Casino
nervous.
Live.
I'm a
Are
little
you, or is
nervous.
that
You
you?
commentated
No,
a
he
bunch.
you're doing it
always,
solo,
he
right?
always throws me in on the like, oh hey, you want to do like these big cash games? I'm like,
Well, all
This
the
is our
cash
normal
games are
game
big.
now. We
no,
don't have
no, I
every
know.
game
Now
is
it's
big.
like,
It's the
now it's
hustler.
like, no, but I don't get to do like, you know, like the Annie game. No, it's like, no. We're gonna throw you in with all the killers, 50, 100. Good luck, and you're by yourself. I'm like, all right, then. right.
By yourself's tough because there's nobody to riff off. But
Yeah.
you'll do great. You've
Well, the
done
good news is we have great audio on the table, so you don't have to talk that much.
Okay.
and you've
just
done
fill in
commentary
Mad
a
if you
million
talk
times.
over us anyway. So.
Yeah, you fill in when there's
tell
something
you.
valuable to say. You don't have to like say everything.
Right,
you don't
right,
have to
right.
give the play-by-play of everything. You just jump in when you're like, oh, this is an interesting.
The
hand
hardest
for
part
sure.
is figuring out when to talk, not what to say.
Yeah.
At least for me,
Yeah.
like, because you're always trying to balance the table
Alec will
talk.
handle the commentary for you at the table,
Oh yeah, maybe.
unless he's tilted.
I'll do play-by-play, especially if I'm tilted. Then you have real play-by-play.
You weren't tilted last week though.
No, I don't think I tilt.
kind of
really,
pose you
to
taking
be
there,
honest.
It didn't feel like you were tilted.
I really don't think I tilt. I mean, I
Nick's
have
taking
defects and I have weaknesses, but I don't think
Nick's
I
taking
really.
his GTO pills over there.
No,
Gets you
I
tilted.
didn't want to pull them all out because I have Tums because I'm old. And then down in here somewhere I have a
Excedrin?
Claritin for my allergies.
you need that, yeah.
But I just realized that if I pull these out and start pouring them all out, I'm dead meat by everybody. So I just. So I
you wanted to talk about the lineup, right?
Yeah. So we got Alec.
See, you're good at comedy. You already know.
Yeah, you got to.
You're the only one here that knows what the
back
fuck
in the yard.
we're actually
Hey, you
supposed
gotta,
to be talking
reel
about.
it back in, you know.
Dog back in the
All right, we
yard.
got Alec, we got Nick, we got Mike X, we got Francisco, we have Dahl, we
Dahl.
have Pepe, who played once a few weeks ago.
Pepe's kind of like he's not a reg on the Wednesday game.
No, he's only played once.
Right, so he's new to watch out for. And
Let's
then
see who else we got.
Arian.
No,
likes to see a lot of
he's
hands.
out. He couldn't make it. But
Okay.
we have Henry, we have Brown Balla, and I think that's it.
Who's the only 8-handed? Who's replacing?
We have 8.
Okay, 8-handed.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I prefer it given that I have a seat, but like it's just better to play 8
Eight-handed
because
is good.
it's also better for the stream in a way. Like you have more action, so people probably see more
I like all
hands,
I like
right? It's more fun
eight-handed
for them.
high stakes, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's who in that lineup are you like most worried about, or you think is the best? And
Are you talking about me?
yeah.
I got to look at say the lineup again.
So we have Mike X, Henry, Ishan, Alec,
Ishan's
Pepe,
brown balla.
Yeah, Francisco, Dahl, and you.
Well, here's the thing. I know all these players, so as far as worried about anyone, I'm not worried about anyone, but I will say that one of the toughest player in that lineup would be Henry. He's very hard to figure out because he can be very, very aggressive in all sorts of spots, and he's not afraid. So he's tough to play against, and he's a thinking player. But you just have to know how to navigate around him when you're playing. Of course, Alex, a great player, and if I didn't think so, I would just avoid talking about you.
Thank you.
So you have to be very careful. Mike X has come so far from when he first started playing. So, and again, I'm propping everyone because this is a tougher lineup. Like, with Ishan, we have a thing. Like, he knows that for me, like we kind of have a pattern together, so he thinks I never fold a big pair. He'll never ever. So I know, and I don't care to say it because he says it to me all the time. We joke. So there's certain things that are beneficial to me because I know what people think of my game, right? Because I play with all these players. Pepe, he's new, but he's that player we talked about like earlier when I was saying like if you have a table full of Pepes, I don't know where I'm at. Like, I don't know where I'm at. I'd rather be at a table where players are actually good players.
Or you've played with them 100 times.
Yeah, I kind of know where I'm at with, like, Pepe and sometimes in the Tuesday game, and especially this new structure, 25, 25, 50, it's like, it's 5-6 handed every hand. I don't know what the fuck's going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a tough time navigating, which you love, because you used to get mad when I was crushing, and now I'm losing. So...
Do you know the players well in the lineup?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think, Dahl, like 4-betting ace-deuce suited, like that was new for me. Like I didn't expect that from him.
That's right.
I was like, oh, okay, like he's doing some new stuff. I think brown ball is like very mechanically sound. Like he's probably going to take the most like theoretically good lines.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you have King Henry, who's just gonna like put you in some spots. Like he raised that hand like that was very unexpected, like an underpair check raise river is like,
Yeah, he did that
whoa,
all the time.
like that.
That's
that
what I'm
was,
saying. He's very tough.
He's unconventional.
Right, so you just have a lot of players that like bring a lot of different moves, and of course you, Alec, like you're probably like one of the toughest players on the planet. So it's
Thank
just
you.
going to be like
Thank you. That
one of
means a
those
lot.
where it's like it's going to be a tough one for everyone. I think Nick's going to have he's going to be the turtle now, and then he's going to switch it up.
The thing
See
is
what
that
happens. I don't know. I say that, but I probably won't.
I mean, the only thing I'd say, like, to add, I mean, you guys nailed it. Obviously, everyone has something they do really well. And then I also think everyone plays their own game better than people play against them. So it's like Henry knows how to play his game. Like, if you played his game, I played his game. It's harder for us to play his game than he plays his game. So, like, everyone knows how to play their own game. Mike X is finding his own voice in his own game. And then I think a lot of it depends on the positions, right? Like, you having, let's say, Henry's very aggressive. You having him to your left is different than him to your right. So like the same player, the same table, the same lineup, you might have a totally different strategy based on who's behind you and what the chip stacks are, and your image, like whether you're winning or losing. Are you making every hand or are you losing every hand? And so that's like a real-time adjustment I'm always mindful of just like every hand is different and every session is different, and it's always about like what's the best thing in this moment right now, and that's why poker's so cool.
And all these players are financially sound, and so there's not any scared money at the table.
Yeah.
So you ain't pushing anyone around in this game, So sometimes if you got a bigger stack or maybe more of a bankroll, and you're playing in games that are softer, and
or
guys,
someone's shot taking.
Guys don't want to be felted, they're shot taking. It's a big advantage. There's no advantage in this game.
Also, if people are new to the stream and they haven't played on TV and they're like cognizant of looking stupid or whatever,
Can you tell
but like
Tina,
these guys, like they play every
50K
Wednesday.
chips, she knows how
Francisco's
I
been
need
here
him.
100 years. Like it's like nobody's like afraid of looking dumb on the stream. Nobody's afraid of making a mistake on stream or being in a big pot. So that creates a different dynamic, and that's kind of unique maybe to the Wednesday game too. It's kind of like the regular game, I feel like.
Yeah,
Seeing it.
and you got Francisco, and I didn't mention him, but he's the trapper. Like this guy is gonna limp when he's got big hands, re-raise limp.
He's very unconventional,
He's the only
too.
guy that can play every week and have 7%, 6% pre-flop raise and book wins.
Yeah.
Like he just books wins. He just knows how to snipe your
But
balls
he
off at a
he
table.
also finds random spots. I saw a few hands on the Friday game where like he just makes weird plays, but then people don't expect it, and then they work.
Yeah.
And he gets people to fold.
That's what I mean. He's very unconventional.
And it's everyone is a threat if you don't know. You know what I mean? That's the cool thing about today.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
I'm excited to
My VPIP
win.
will probably be about 8%.
You're a solid 21.
nobody last Wednesday was really that out of line. Like I think the highest was 35, 40.
This is the
Well, I
Wednesday
think
game.
in these games where everybody plays decent,
2 purple, and the rest.
I think
35.
where everyone plays pretty well and everyone recognizes that, then everybody has to adjust and play better. Where in a game like a Tuesday game, for example, where there are people that are playing crazy and playing a lot of hands, even the people that, if they were in that Wednesday game, would play, 25% or whatever, could now play way more hands and be way more aggressive in that Tuesday game setting because they're adjusting to the rest of the table, right? And so,
And thank you.
You don't want to be like the one guy who's an outlier, right? But you can kind of adjust to the rest of the crew.
Yeah, it's true. It's also different structure Tuesday with the limping. It's like
Yeah, it's created
you're
people
more
to call all the
you're
time.
more incentivized to
I was
limp
at
just 'cause of the pot
30%
odds.
VPIP last night, and I was playing hands that I normally wouldn't because I knew I was going to get slaughtered in that department because literally it's 5 to 6-handed every hand. That game creates so much action, but it's
like a bomb
go
pot.
to the flop poker. It's go to the so for
But that's
me,
kinda cool.
It is cool, but it's a real big adjustment. Like I'm really having a tough time navigating
you've
through
played
it.
short
Like
deck.
you can't isolate anyone. in
I'm
this
not
game.
great at
Like,
short
it's
deck.
crazy.
No.
Like, I'm
Right.
You got to make it like
No,
500.
you got to hit flops.
Yeah, but you know how short deck, like, if you played some short deck, you can kind of use that to your advantage if you were playing that game to know, like, what to do pre-flop.
Or PLO,
You're
like
playing
there's a
tomorrow
lot
in
of
the ante-game?
multiple
Nice.
people in the
I
pot.
have no idea what to do. But it's
I'll
fine.
tell you
That's
Or
what
like
the
bomb
wrong
pots
thing.
are probably better. Like bomb pots are probably closest thing to the ante-game where there's like 6 people to the flop.
I hate bomb.
And
the
mean,
way
it
it's
doesn't-
ranges are
structured,
super
though,
wide.
it's more like short deck.
yeah,
It's
maybe
short
you're
deck.
right.
So
Yeah, you're right. 'cause
No, it
the
is.
ante-
It's more like short deck than a bomb.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 6 people to the flop. I think it's just that people, it's just the lineup that
you're
we
structured
have.
like short deck,
It's
right.
just the way that people in that lineup play, and I think that people haven't figured out yet how to adjust to it.
Here's what I'm saying. Like I'll have a hand that I'll bring in an early position, let's say ace queen suited, and I'll bring it in for 300 in that game. I'm praying to God that somebody 3 and 4 bets, or at least 3 bets,
Yeah.
Right.
and that I don't get
Okay,
4
so
or
you
5
don't
more
want it to go
callers.
call.
So I'm praying to get raised in a hand, even if I have 8-7 suited, but I'm trying to get some board coverage and do something different or whatever it is, 9-10. I'm praying, please guys, just don't call the 300. And everyone's like,
So-
3.
So
three,
what if
three. And I'm
opening
like, fuck!
what if opening to 300 isn't the answer?
I don't know. That's what I got to figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's limp and then re-raise. I don't know.
Yeah, I really want to play that game because I have some strategies I want to try, and I feel like in games where there's no like collective agreement on what the right solution is, like those are the most fun games.
Exactly. That's what I
Because
want.
everyone's
could
forced
also- yeah,
to
they
use
could
their
be-
natural
you
poker
you
intellect.
accomplished what your mission was.
Yeah.
But I hate it.
We had last week, I think it was, or 2 weeks ago, we had 7 people over 50%.
Yeah, that's the fun game because like in No Limit, there's so much strategy, there's so much information, there's solvers. Like people know what to do pretty well.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a little bit less creative. Whereas in a game like that, you're just raw poker intellect to just like figure it out. And that kind of I think
You're
it would
winging
be fun.
it. Yeah, you're winging
It would be
it.
fun for me to play in a game like that, but it would also it's just a fun game where nobody has the answer.
Right.
That's cool.
Or at least there's no agreement on the answer,
Right,
which
exactly.
is always good.
Right, exactly. And so everyone's trying new stuff every week, and like he said, he's like doing all this random stuff, and you gotta see what works.
All right, let's talk about last night. So last night, Big John was at 69% VPIP. Mayhem was at 63% VPIP. Mars was at 61. Francisco 56 because loves to limp. Eli was at 52. J-Boogs was at 57.
Yeah, you created a great game.
Rampage was at
Average
45.
VP ideas.
And I can't see because he got felted, but Ronnie was at like 40 something, 40.
Yeah.
And I'm at 30.
So the average is like 48.
At least.
Yeah,
Like,
It's
higher,
insane.
50-something.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so what's funny is like, so we have that structure and that's the VPIPs, but like if you have Mars, for example, in a Friday game, his VPIP's always going to be between like 25 and 35.
Right, which is correct. I mean, that's
yeah, and-
the right strategy.
And that's even like 7 or 8-handed sometimes as opposed to this
That's
being
pretty.
9-handed.
That's a little tighter than yeah.
Yeah, but
But you're also playing for 3 times, 5 times the size of the money. and-
okay, or in a Wednesday game where it's similar size, he'll be the same thing. He'll be no more than 40 in like a day when he has a lot of hands, but usually in the 30 range. And now in this structure, he decided, I want to play more hands, and now he's at 61. So
Yeah, because he's
I think
playing
that's cool.
below his normal bankroll.
No, but what I'm saying is that a Wednesday game isn't that much bigger than the Tuesday game.
It's not. It's the same
So, and I'm
size.
saying in a Wednesday game, he might be like 30% VPIP, but he's 61 in a Tuesday game because of the structure, and he's like, I'm getting a good price. I'm getting a good price. I'm getting a good price. I call.
Ronnie, 5% pre-flop. Francisco, 9. Eli, 15. J-Boogs was the highest at 32.
So J-Boogs raised more hands than you played.
Then wait, listen, I had 19% pre-flop raise. I was third.
And
Yeah, it's all.
well,
But
you don't
then
call
everyone
that.
called.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man.
You'll figure it out.
it's a sick game, dude.
It's a
Nick,
wild game.
it took you like 20 years to figure out no limit hold'em.
Yeah.
You'll figure this one out.
Yeah, but like this is no fun.
It's fun. It
no,
has
it is
to
fun.
be.
I can't
it has
win,
to
though.
be.
Nick, what do you think is like the one thing? So you've learned a lot about like getting better at poker over the last few years, right? What do you think is like one thing that you like 5, 7, 8 years ago when you played a lot didn't even know was a thing or didn't think about or didn't know exist, like a concept or something that like now you're like, holy crap, how did I not know that?
Ryan, there is no one answer.
I know. Give me one that pops to your head that you're like the one thing that
Sizing?
means the most to you that you didn't know was a thing back then.
Well, it's hard to say with one thing. I didn't understand. This is how bad it is. I didn't even like. If you can master your pre-flop game, you could probably struggle through being bad post-flop and still be okay.
Yeah, I know. People watch you on the show. They know that.
Okay, thank you. That was set up for you.
That was a great one.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Now, fuck if I'm ever coming back on this show. I did not understand the most important thing then is I guess I didn't understand pre-flop ranges and even position as how important it was.
Right.
And that is the most simplest of things I didn't understand.
yeah.
Sizing. I used to give away so many things sizing. Good hands, bad hands. If I was bluffing scared. It was just everything. No balance. I mean, we can go on forever, you know. But
Yeah, pre-flop is always the thing I tell people is like, if you want to improve, it's kind of like the easiest
the first step.
Easiest thing to learn.
thing
yeah.
to do, and it has the most impact, right?
It's like your grip in golf. You got to get the grip.
Yeah, or
before
your
you can even
form
hit
in
the ball.
tennis,
Yeah,
or
or
like
basketball, like shooting a ball.
right. It's just like that for
Yeah.
poker, but it's just like you make the most amount of decisions pre-flop, right? If you think about it, you make the least decisions on the river.
Yeah.
The river's the most important because the equity is binary. You either have the best hand or you don't. So if you never make a mistake, you can't lose because you either have 100% or 0 to win. Whereas pre-flop, the equities are closer. But like you make pre-flop decisions like 10 times as often as river decisions, right?
Right.
So it's like if you can get that correctly, it's like getting your footwork right. You just set up the hand to be in a good spot.
Yeah, like
It's like
someone,
that- it's
someone
like
would
that tree
raise,
at
and
conscious poker.
Right.
someone would raise, and back
Exactly.
in the day, I wouldn't want to bloat the pot because I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I would call with ace-queen suited, right, and not isolate and not be in position with probably a better hand than they. So it was just that pre-flop game was just really weak. And to the point, if you can get your pre-flop game better, you could at least take out a lot of your
Yeah, or just being like, some people are very obvious with the certain aspects of their pre-flop game, like they only re-raise with certain hands in certain spots, and then, they have a strong hand and their hand is stronger than yours, but like, you're 200 big blinds deep, and they have aces or kings,
That's
and
why I
like
was
that's
getting-
a really good
that's why I
spot for
was
you,
getting
even if you have
chewed up.
9-10 offsuit.
That's why I was getting
you just
chewed
call,
up by
like, who
Gerry
cares?
and Andy and all those guys
Right.
because I was playing face up.
Right,
I remember-
that's a huge. It's not a problem if you're like 30 big blinds deep in a
Right,
tournament.
yeah.
It's a problem when
When
you're
you're deep.
300 big blinds
Right,
deep in a
right.
cash game
Yeah.
and you're out of position.
You're out of
Then you're just
position,
drawing dead.
Because you don't have board coverage at all.
Right.
You just
Yeah.
always have one pair.
Yeah, you're
always have
face
one
up.
pair. Yeah.
You're face up. Like they
Right.
know if they're going to put 80,000 in the pot to face you, are you going to call with queens?
Yeah, you're
on a
either
board
gonna
that's
win
kind of wet.
8,000 or lose 80.
Yeah, right.
Like you're just never
So
winning.
you're folding.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember
Totally.
in like 2018, the first time I ever saw you 3-bet ace-7 suited. I was so proud of you.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was out of my mind.
I mean, you were just clicking buttons, but
Yeah.
it was still cool.
He remembers the stream in the hand.
This is like a
Well, because I was so face up that he was like, "What is he
Wow.
doing? Did he
And I
miss?
was like, wow,
are the
that's cool.
graphics wrong? He doesn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
ace king suited."
No, I just thought you were trying something new, and it was cool.
Yeah, no, I just didn't see the cards right.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, what is it?
So, Christian, you're going to get
Yeah.
to commentate on a pretty cool Friday game this week, too.
Yeah, that one looks huge.
Yeah,
That
why
one-
don't you put up the promo for Friday for us?
Friday's always big.
Yeah, Friday looks huge. I'm
Neve upstairs
super
directing
excited
for us
about it.
right
I mean, I saw the players this morning, and I'm just like, well, we're probably gonna see another like $500,000 pot, no
Yeah.
problem, Like,
Yeah.
so I'm excited for that.
So this is Rampage's biggest game ever. He's coming off the big tournament win where he
Yeah.
won like 900K in the tournament.
Oh, that's sick.
yeah, I
and
saw
so
he's bringing $500,000.
He said he's gonna bring 500K, 250K he said he's gonna start with. He's selling it on Stake Kings, so you can go on Stake Kings and buy his action for it if you're a Rampage fan.
That's
I looked
cool.
I looked
That's a fun swipe for the fans.
Yeah, I looked a few hours ago and he was trying to sell 175K of the action and he had already sold 70K. That's a
Wow.
lot.
That's a lot.
That's insane.
Because most people are buying like $300.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
That's
it's
a
like
lot of
like-
movement.
He probably has like 2,000 backers or something.
He
like
has
1,000
so many
backers.
fans,
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
fans.
That's cool. Good for him.
So that's Friday, and the lineup was already super sick. and we don't usually make it 9-handed on Fridays, but for him, we kind of have to. So
Rampage.
Yeah, so the game
funny.
Friday is going to be very cool. We have
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
we have Rampage, we have Nick Airball, we have Ben, blank check Ben, we have Prince Charles, as we're calling him now.
Yeah.
He's back after not being here
Charles
last
is
week. Although Charles told me that he's like, I'm going to play good. He's like, I'm going to play
Charles
solid.
plays good drunk.
Well, he plays
my
good
God,
for the
he
game.
was out of his
Good for the
mind that
show,
day.
yeah.
He was out of his
We got
mind.
Double M back.
This is a big game.
Yeah, we got JR, we got Mike
Yeah,
X.
don't fuck it up.
We got Dustin. Am I forgetting anyone? I think that's it. Oh, and Bill Klein. So we got all the All-Stars.
Yeah,
and it's
for
gonna be
sure.
pretty cool. I think it's gonna be action.
Yeah.
That's a game where, we're gonna have some 400s and some 800s on there, and
Yeah.
who knows what's gonna happen, but hopefully we'll have some big pots. Last week was kind of weird where it was a fun action soft game, but there just weren't any big pots. We just didn't have the hands dealt. There was no 200K pots.
But in a 5-hour stream, you see 120 hands.
Yeah.
Like if nobody might get aces in 120. Nobody might get big hands.
Yeah,
and stuff.
sometimes the hands don't interlock. Like maybe
Yeah.
just like two people completely whiff the
Yeah,
board.
like
It's
someone has aces and the guy has Jack 10 and
Yeah, that's
King
what happened
5
last
too.
week.
and
It was
it's just
really
check
weird.
fold.
Like it's a game that I would want to play in, but it just didn't have any big pots.
Yeah.
So hopefully this week's a little different. Hopefully we have some bigger pots.
Yeah, it's fun to see.
Stream variance.
Hopefully Rampage
It's true. I
plays
mean, it's
some
only 5
hands.
hours. It's such a small sample.
Let's see Rampage play his biggest pot, maybe.
Yeah, that
he
would
played
be
his
fun.
all of his biggest pots on our show already. Maybe
What's
he'll
his
get-
record?
So a couple, maybe a month or two ago, he played a, was it 180K pot, I think it was, or something
There were
like
some
that.
big ones, yeah.
So
Feels like
he won
in
over
that
200
game,
that day.
I don't know if you're a favorite to break it, but it's probably close.
You're pretty close
Yeah.
with blank
'Cause if
check
you're
and
all
double
in-
M. There's some big
If
stats.
you ever
in
get
But
a
you're
big
saying is
hand.
Rampage a favorite to play his biggest pot?
Right,
you're
'cause
saying?
Yes,
he only
yes,
needs to
yes.
put in 90K, which
Yeah.
200 big blinds.
By the way,
maybe I don't know. We'll see.
with the straddles.
He definitely is live.
He's a different, obviously, because now his bankroll is bigger. He's banking these tournaments. He's got all this experience from when he was like a year ago. If you remember him from a year ago, he was a different player when he came here.
Oh, yeah.
He did. Well, I mean, obviously, but he now is really calculated in all his moves. When he first was playing here, what he was doing was trying to create a name for himself even more, and he was doing some crazy things in some really stupid spots. Just saying, but he was being really aggressive for that. And now you could see he's evolved, and he's still very aggressive, but he's evolved now into a much different player. And by
he's
the way,
very good.
we're gonna be. I'm gonna probably be taping a show with him tomorrow at like 10 or 11 a.m. That'll be out in a few weeks. You wanna co-host it?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, it'd be good. Just you can help me out, ask him some questions. But I think if he agrees to the time, then we'll be doing that tomorrow. We'll have it in the can.
Sweet. That'll be
For a
fun.
podcast, for the Nick Vertucci
Yeah, for the Nick
podcast?
Vertucci show. Yeah.
Nick Vertucci show. You got a lot of cool podcasts lately. How's that been going for you? I think you enjoy it, huh?
Yeah, I love it. I make no money on it. I think I will soon, and that was never, it was always a passion project, but I love doing that more than I love doing anything. I love interviewing people. I get trolled being the new Joe Rogan. I'm not even close, but yeah, we know. But the thing is I love that format. I love interviewing people, and it's been going good. I mean, we've had some really big names. We just dropped the Ravreby stuff, which people are interested, yesterday and day before. I got Antonio Esfandiari that I have to put out. I got Poker Bunny that's coming out. We'll have Rampage. I just taped 2 or 3 shows with Caitlin, one with Caitlin and Lynn, one where Caitlin interviewed me, one I interviewed her. So I got a lot. We got a lot of good stuff.
That's
a lot
cool.
of good, stuff.
That's awesome.
But what's nice about it, and the best thing that's come out of it is, the people that are watching now, they want to know about the players. And like this has given them the ability to know, like people hated Nick Airball. Hated him because of his antics. But after his show, and they got to know like his personality and the things he said and why he does them, it's like changed everyone's perception of him,
Nick's
which I
a
think
really
is a
nice
good
guy.
thing.
It's character development.
Yeah, it's character development. So it's been really good for the
It's
show.
almost like a behind the scenes, and people really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really get to know people on the stream. I mean, you hear like small talk, right? But then you see them play, but you don't really get to know like
You
their
don't know the
story.
background, yeah.
Right.
That's something we want to do more of, and Nick's helped do that with the podcast. So we want to do more of that over the next year.
Yeah, for sure. Like a
people
hustler
get to know,
production too.
Get to know the players more.
I think little like 10-minute documentaries, like
Yeah.
you see those about poker players.
Exactly.
Just like follow them around for a week and like
Literally,
see
exactly.
what their lifestyle is like, their routine, and like
Yeah, we want to
That'd be
see
really
what
cool.
Big John does or Wesley does or
right, exactly.
whoever. Yeah.
See Wesley like trading.
Yeah.
Like down $1 million, up $1 million.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really interesting, and those can live on your channel forever, and then
I think it just should be really cool. Like it just draws people more to the show because then they're rooting for the person or they're rooting against the person, and like they're invested emotionally.
Yeah, it's like heroes and anti-heroes.
Yeah, there's heroes and villains, and like Airball's polarizing, but now people kind of like him. And
Yeah.
then,
Well, I've actually done myself good too because I was one of the people that people like to hate on, and they still do. But I think by doing the show and them getting to know me a little bit better, I've actually had a little plus EV in the he's not a dick so much.
yeah, people
That's
are
good.
quick to judge
Yeah.
and slow to learn about someone. You know, it's common in social media.
By the way, next week, Nick, we have your boy, one of your good friends, Mike Mattisau.
Oh, which day is he playing? I want in.
He's gonna play as many days as possible. So probably Monday. It's probably gonna be like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or something. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll play with. I love playing with him. He's such a
Yeah.
He's a
kooky
character.
bird.
So he's in, and then Jungle Man will be here next Wednesday and Friday as well.
Oh,
nice.
that's cool.
So yeah, we'll have a cool week.
Maybe
next
with a
round.
costume.
Yeah, oh, definitely with a costume.
I know.
Definitely.
No Santa. What are we gonna get?
Yeah, he'll come up with something. He's
come
a
up with
great character.
He had like Dan Diego, like he was.
I
Going,
saw that on
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram. Yeah.
What?
What is that?
I don't know, man.
He's so funny.
Special.
He's so funny.
Should we go and take a couple questions from the chat? Go in
Oh
there.
no, we
It's they get it
yeah,
after.
yeah.
Are we still delayed?
yeah, this one's delayed, so the people will know.
Have they been in the past?
No, this one today is not live with the
Oh
chat.
shit, that's
so-
right because I came in at 2:15, so it's going to be an
Yeah,
hour
yeah.
before.
What do
So
we do?
we're on a
We play
hour
at
delay.
4?
What do I know?
We start in 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up right now, and they're gonna start playing right here. The countdown's gonna start, and so we're about a little over 30 minutes away from game time tonight.
Let's go.
It's 25, 50, 100. We got Alec in the mix. We got Francisco, Mike X, Henry. We got Nick, Brown Balla. So it's gonna be a fun show. Tomorrow night we have Mariano is here. So Mariano and Francisco. And next year again tomorrow. So
I'm not
And-
sitting in seat 1 again.
I
Oh my
heard-
God,
I
that
heard.
was the worst experience I've ever had in my life with that shuffler.
Well, you've had a great life if that's the worst experience of your life.
It's a good way.
That is true. That is true. You probably are right about that.
Fair rebuttal.
That's one of the worst
I
things that's
probably have
happened to me in
worse
a while.
experiences on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
than
no,
sitting next
I've
to
had a
stuff
great
like
last 3 months. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Friday we got Rampage in the mix playing super high stakes. So very exciting week. It all starts soon. Stay tuned, about 30 minutes, 25, 50, 100 with Alec. Thanks for
guys.
watching the pregame
Thanks for the
show,
support.
and we'll see you in a bit.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Raise it up.
Chat Pro, slow roll, never fold.
Raise it up.
Chat Pro, slow roll, never fold.
Raise it up.
Chat Pro, slow roll, never fold. Slow roll, never fold. Slow roll, never fold.
Raise it up. Raise it up.
Chat Pro.